A Uniqlo Supima t-shirt costs $19.90. A Brooks Brothers Supima t-shirt costs $69.50. Same cotton, different label. $50 gap. That gap is what this video is about. 5 brands are quietly selling the same materials as designer labels at a third of the price. Most men walk right past them. By the end of this video, you won't. Before we get into the brands, you need 4 tests. Use these in any store, on any garment, before you spend $1. Test 1. Read the cotton label. Look for the words Supima, long staple, or extra long staple. These cottons survive 50 washes without pilling. Standard cotton starts breaking down after 10 to 15. The label tells you everything. Test 2. Count the stitches. Flip the garment inside out. Find a seam. Count stitches over 1 inch. Premium construction, 8 to 12. Commodity construction, 5 to 7. A $30 Dickies work pant, stitches at 10 to 11. A $150 department store chino often clocks in at 7 to 8. The cheaper pant is better built. The numbers don't lie. Test 3. Country of origin, a signal, not a verdict. Japanese, American, and Portuguese manufacturing typically hold to higher standards. But the real variable is who controls the production line, not where it sits. Uniqlo's Vietnam factories run under Japanese supervision to Japanese specs. The flag on the tag matters less than the company running the floor. Test 4. The wash test. If a $30 shirt looks better after 50 washes than a $150 shirt looks after 10, you have your answer. Every brand on this list has passed that test for decades. Now the brands. Number 1. Kirkland Signature. Most men walk straight through the clothing section at Costco. They walk past folded stacks of jeans, dress shirts, and outerwear. Past a private label that does roughly $86 billion in annual sales. 1/3 of everything Costco sells. The clothing is a small corner of that business. It's also the corner most men don't know they're missing. Costco launched Kirkland Signature in 1995 on a simple premise. Find the factories behind the name brands. Commission the same product without the name. Strip out every layer of markup between the factory floor and the shelf. No marketing budget, no wholesale distributor, no retail rent, and pass all of it back to the member. Nobody argues with this model when it's batteries or paper towels. Kirkland batteries come from Duracell. Kirkland diapers come from Kimberly-Clark. Half the price, same quality. Everyone knows it. The clothing works the same way. Kirkland jeans. $15 to $20. 99% cotton, 1% spandex. Classic 5-pocket cut. Made in the same class of factories producing mid-tier American denim at 3 to 4 times the price. The t-shirts are $6 to $9 for a 3-pack. Dress shirts run $30 to $40. Chinos $20 to $25. Seasonal outerwear undercuts comparable retail by 50 to 70%. Reports of Kirkland jeans outlasting $60 Levi's have circulated online for years. The explanation isn't complicated. The factory cost of both jeans is roughly identical. The Levi's retail price absorbs a marketing budget, a distributor margin, department store rent, and a brand premium. The Kirkland price absorbs a factory cost and a warehouse shelf. The only barrier to entry is a $65 annual membership. For a man buying 2 pairs of jeans a year, it pays for itself on the first trip. Run the stitch test on a pair of Kirkland jeans next to anything from a department store at 3 times the price. The construction is frequently identical. The difference is the label. Number 2. Uniqlo. The average American man still thinks of Uniqlo as a budget fast fashion chain. That assumption is costing him money. Uniqlo's parent company traces back to a men's clothing shop in Yamaguchi, Japan, in 1949. The Uniqlo name came in 1984. Today it's the 8th largest fashion retailer in the world. In some cities, lines form outside flagships at opening. And still, most American men treat it as an afterthought. Here's what they're missing. Uniqlo operates more like a technology company than a clothing brand. Their fabric research institute in Ariake, Tokyo, develops textiles in-house. Heat tech insulation, air and moisture management, 3D knit construction for seamless sweaters. These aren't marketing names slapped onto off-the-shelf materials. They're proprietary fabrics developed through engineering programs most fashion brands don't have the infrastructure to run. Heat Tech was developed in partnership with Toray Industries, the same textile science firm producing Fabra. For aerospace and high-performance athletic applications, the flagship product for this list is the Supima cotton t-shirt, $19.90. Supima is a trademark designation for American-grown extra-long staple cotton. Less than 1% of global cotton production qualifies. It's the same grade inside a Brooks Brothers Supima t-shirt at $69. The same grade inside premium menswear at $100 and up. At $19.90, Uniqlo sells that cotton under Japanese quality control. Weight, hand feel, seam construction, neckline stability, all reviewed before the shirt leaves the factory. For denim, Uniqlo partners with Kaihara, one of Japan's premier denim mills, founded in 1893. Considered the backbone of Japanese denim production. The same mill supplies fabric to the Selvage heritage brands commanding $200 and up. Uniqlo's Selvage line at $50 uses Kaihara woven denim from the same Hiroshima looms. The difference between the two products is the finishing and the label, not the fabric source. Japan applied the same obsessive precision it brought to raw Selvage denim to everyday essentials. The result is a store where nothing costs more than $50, and most of it outperforms clothing at 3 to 4 times the price. #3. Land's End. If you're over 45, you already know this brand. Your father had a Land's End Oxford hanging in his closet. You may have owned one yourself in college or at your first job. Gary Comer founded the company in 1963 in Chicago. He was a copywriter who had taken up sailing, and the first catalog sold sailing hardware, shackles, ropes, canvas sailbags. The name came from a cliff-top headland in Cornwall, England. Within a decade, the catalog expanded into clothing. Within 2, Land's End was one of the most trusted names in American direct mail menswear. The brand changed hands. Manufacturing moved offshore in the late 2000s, and longtime customers felt it. That decline was real. But here's what didn't change. Land's End kept their Supima cotton Lee. They kept the construction specs on their core dress shirt. And they kept the price honest. The Hyde Park Oxford retails for $29.99. American-grown Supima cotton. No iron finish. Pinpoint weave button-down collar. The pinpoint weave is denser and finer than standard Oxford cloth. It drapes cleaner, wrinkles less, holds its shape through repeated wear. The same construction silhouette that defined the American Oxford cloth button-down for 60 years. Compare it directly. Brooks Brothers sells their Oxford button-down for $98 to $140. Same Supima cotton grade. Similar collar construction. Similar fabric weight. 2 centuries of American menswear heritage, and that heritage is real. But on a Tuesday morning under a suit jacket, that $30 Land's End shirt and that $140 Brooks Brothers shirt are doing the same job to the same standard. The man sitting across the conference table cannot tell which one you're wearing. After 50 washes, the Land's End shirt still looks like a proper Oxford. Button down. One more thing. Land's End still carries traditional fit, tailored fit, and a full big and tall range. Most brands abandoned extended sizing when private equity came through. Land's End kept it. The shirt your father wore in 1985 is still on the rack. Still $30. Most men don't know this. The men who do buy 6 at a time. #4. L.L.Bean. Founded in 1912 in Freeport, Maine. Still privately held. Still run by the founding family. 113 years of continuous family ownership at this scale. That statistic doesn't exist anywhere else in American clothing retail. The brand started with one product. Leon Wood Bean designed the Maine hunting shoe in 1911, tested it, sold the first 100 pairs, and had 90 returned because the stitching failed. He refunded every customer, rebuilt the boot, and guaranteed the next version for life. That guarantee became the foundation of everything. The Bean boot has been in continuous production for over a century. And it is still made in Maine, not assembled in Maine, made in Maine. The rubber bottoms are molded in Lewiston. The leather uppers are sewn in Brunswick. Every pair goes through American hands. When the rubber sole finally wears through, which takes a decade or more of hard use, L.L.Bean will resole the boot rather than replace it. $149 for an American-made, American resole boot, backed by a century-old guarantee. That price doesn't exist anywhere else. The core catalog runs deep. The chamois shirt, a heavyweight cotton flannel originally designed for Maine hunters in 1924, is $45. The field coat runs around $100. The canvas boat and tote, first introduced in 1944 as an ice-carrying bag, is $35, made in Maine. These aren't Heritage Line revivals or limited reissues. They are the original products, in continuous production, at prices that have barely kept pace with inflation. The Freeport flagship store ran 24 hours a day, 365 days a year for most of the past 70 years. Customers drove hours in the middle of the night to pick up a pair of bean boots before a hunting trip. That is the kind of loyalty a brand builds over a century, not through marketing, but through exactly one thing: doing what they said they would do for 113 years straight. Number 5. Dickies, Bryan, Texas. C.N. Williamson and E.E. Colonel Dickey started a vehicle and harness business. 4 years later, they pivoted from horse gear to work clothing, bib overalls, and denim trousers for farmhands, ranchers, and factory workers across the Southwest. During the Great Depression, when most apparel manufacturers collapsed, Dickies expanded. The logic was counterintuitive and completely correct. When the economy tightens, workers need clothing that lasts longer. Dickies doubled down on durability and grew through the decade. In 1967, they launched the 874 Original Work Pant. It has been in continuous production since, functionally unchanged for nearly 60 years. $30, 65% polyester, 35% cotton twill. Triple needle stitching at stress points, stain release finish, permanent crease. A cut designed for a man moving through real physical work for 8 to 12 hours a day. These aren't concessions to a cheap market. They are the specifications of a pant engineered to suit. Industrial washing. Now compare it to the designer chino market. Workwear-inspired chinos at $150 to $250 borrow the look of the 874. They do not borrow the engineering. 7 to 8 stitches per inch. No stain treatment. No permanent crease. No triple needle reinforcement at stress points. The designer version is the aesthetic. The Dickies is the construction. The 874's cultural footprint goes well beyond job sites. Professional chefs wear them in kitchens across the country. The stain treatment was practically built for restaurant work. Skaters adopted them in the 1980s, and the pant became the default of West Coast skate culture for decades. Hip-hop artists wore them through the 1990s and pulled Dickies into streetwear. Painters, musicians, artists, anyone whose work destroys clothing, figured out the 874 long ago. The work pant your grandfather wore, the work pant your father wore, still $30, still the same specs, still more durably constructed than most designer brands at any price. 5 brands. 5 prices that shouldn't be possible for the quality they deliver. The pattern connecting all of them is the absence of markup layers. Kirkland cut out wholesale and brand marketing. Uniqlo cut out the fashion house margin by building its own fabric research. Land's End stripped retail markup through direct catalog and online sales. L.L.Bean stayed family-owned and never chased trends. Dickies kept one product in continuous production for 6 decades instead of redesigning it every season. Every one of them put the money into the garment instead of the brand. The 4 tests still apply. Check the cotton, count the stitches, note the country of origin, give it 50 washes. The brands on this list survive that sequence. Most brands at 3 to 5 times the price do not. The men who know these brands tend to stay quiet about it. They buy 6 Land's End shirts. They replace their Dickies every few years when a pair finally gives out. They've worn the same bean boots through 4 presidential administrations. They were never looking for a logo. They were looking for clothing that does its job. If you've got a brand you swear by, drop it in the comments. Tell us how long your favorite piece has lasted. Help the next man find what you found. Links below to our heritage brand breakdown and the 7 brands to avoid. Subscribe if this channel is worth your time.